Hello, everyone. This is Eric Gibbs with Gambling News. I'm here today with Daniel Jurilj, head of sales of SofaScore, a company that is on a mission to give sports enthusiasts all around the world objective insights into sports by inventing new ways of presenting and consuming data. SofaScore offers live coverage of more than 500 events around the world in soccer, tennis, basketball, and continues to expand, covering tournaments, cups, all types of league activity, and providing live updated results, statistics, tables, video highlights, live streaming, and more. Daniel, thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you for having me, Eric.
Now, how did you get started with SofaScore? Tell me a little bit about your start with the company.
About my start with the company. So I'm in the company for 6.5 years now, and it's been an interesting road. When I came to the company, there was a small team of real hardcore sports enthusiasts that were enthusiastic about building something new in the market in regards to the sports coverage. When SofaScore started out, we never wanted to be just one of the products that covers results and provides basic information. We wanted to be something more, offering users something more. And this is what we were trying to do with our insightful infographics, various widgets that users quickly recognized, and this is how SofaScore grew. So my role with the company at the start was primarily marketing oriented, to get all these widgets exposed, to establish key partnerships with media, influencers, and manage user campaigns, and slowly to build strategic partnerships with sports betting companies.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're doing a great job so far. You already have several key partners in place. What's the next big deal for SofaScore, if you can reveal what's coming down the pipe?
Well, we have some of the long-term partners that have been with us since beginning of the company, and of course there are a lot of new ones came along the way. What I can reveal that will be the focus for us is the United States market. So SofaScore is a global product. We have 20 million monthly active users spread across the world, and we try to have local partners. If market is regulated, we want to have a partner that knows the local market and that we can work with for a longer period. Obviously, United States is one of the hot markets in the industry. In the last couple of years, it is evolving. More and more states are getting legislation introduced, and we are keeping tabs what needs to be done from the publisher side. We understand that not every publisher can work in every state like we are doing in other countries. We need to get an affiliate license to be able to work with operators, stuff like this. So the next big thing for us is definitely entering the United States, where we already have a strong user base, but we need to see what we need to do from the compliance side, because betting companies are our main advertisers. So we need to be sure that we can work with them. And on the other side, we need to see whether we need to adjust our product for the American users that are maybe accustomed to a little different sports consumption than the Europeans or the rest of the world, for that matter.
That is true. And I think a large part of that is because there's for so long been a separation between sports and sports betting in the US, but that of course is changing now dramatically on a daily basis. So I think that, products like those offered by SofaScore definitely have a place in the US market, and that's coming from, a US citizen that is also a sports enthusiast. And so I definitely believe that SofaScore will be able to find a niche and develop itself in the US market. What about American football? How easy will it be to integrate American football into your products?
Well, American football is already present in SofaScore app. We cover more than 20 sports and US sports, whether it is football, hockey, baseball, NBA, we all have it all covered. Maybe NBA is the one that is covered most thoroughly, but American football is something that we do have pretty solid coverage, but we, like in other sports like soccer, European version, we want to have as many features in every sport like we do in soccer, because this is really that is synonymous with SofaScore. When someone thinks of SofaScore and their soccer or football coverage, they think of all these infographics and interesting things. And this is probably the direction that we will take with American football. See what the users are craving for and how to present them this data in a way that they can consume it simply by when watching a game and using SofaScore as a second screen to boost their game experience. And obviously in United States, college football is a completely different beast. Then you don't have something like this in Europe. So we will also need to put a great focus on college sports as well.
Definitely. There's still a lot of debate in the US at the state level about whether, college sports are acceptable for sports betting. And it's a really hot button topic right now. New Jersey just went through it and found out that its residents didn't want college level sports betting, which was really surprising. So it leaves companies like SofaScore in a very difficult position because they have to cater to so many different styles of legislation in the U.S. Tell me a little bit about how your widgets work. You offer widgets that can be integrated into operator platforms, correct?
The widgets are something that media publishers like news outlets can embed in their sites. Obviously, operators, if they have certain sections of their website where these widgets can fit in, they can also be embedded. It is not the core business that we are offering this as a product. Our core business is offering advertising space within SofaScore, but our widgets are something that has boosted our brand visibility and has helped us put SofaScore on the map, because we have lineups with SofaScore player ratings. When a journalist is writing an article, he can embed these lineups into his article, and he can reference this image that he has now in his article and engage his audience. So this is something that has worked tremendously well for SofaScore over the years and has helped us build this brand of really insightful sports statistics website. We have a couple of other widgets. They concern one of them concerns player skills. We offer league tables for a lot of competitions that you can embed on your site. And some of the other, we are also thinking about adding widgets for some of the other things that are very, very popular with SofaScore, but this is something that we are trying to develop, speaking directly with media outlets that are our key partners in using these widgets.
Cool. It's interesting. I definitely see, and it's obvious by the number of deals that have surfaced lately between sports media companies and sports betting companies, where traditional sports media websites and TV broadcasters are now fully integrating sports betting data. With the amount of information that SofaScore is able to provide, I can definitely see how that has a great amount of potential in all markets, but in particular the U.S. market, because it is the better is data driven in the U.S. Now, all of that data that we've been talking about, and some of which is filtered through the widgets, is all compiled in-house by SofaScore, right? I mean, you have your own algorithms that are compiling and aggregating all of this data. Can you explain a little bit how those algorithms work, where they pull their data from, and how the system functions?
That is one of the questions that we receive a lot, especially for our player ratings. What's the formula behind it? I can tell you that we work with the best deep stats provider in the world, which is Opta. So their analysts analyze all the major leagues on a team level, on a player level. So you get these thousands of statistics, and which is basically a raw material. And you need to know what you are going to do with this raw material. So one of the first things that we did in SofaScore, it was back in 2015, that we introduced SofaScore player ratings. We were working over a year in developing an algorithm for player ratings. So we analyzed a year worth of data in statistics that was provided to us. We divided it by certain categories for defenders, midfielders, attackers, goalkeepers, and so on. And we analyzed what is important for attackers in each of these positions. What is the influence if somebody scores a goal in the first minute or the 90th minute? What weight does a red card or a misplaced pass, lost tackle, duel, or anything like this have on the overall performance of a player? And obviously it took us a very, very long time to develop this algorithm. We tested it on a lot of matches until we came to something that was really, really good. And we introduced it in the season, I believe it was 2015-2016, the season that Leicester won the Premier League in the UK. And already in the first match, we believe it will be a long time before a player has a perfect 10 in a match. And already in the first match, Riyad Mahrez for Leicester had a 10, and we all immediately returned to the formula to see if everything is okay. Of course, everything was working perfectly. It was not something that was happening all the time. And obviously that season, Riyad Mahrez was really important for Leicester. So it was an introduction season for the player ratings, and it really took off from then. After that, we introduced numerous other things like attribute overview for players that show how good they are in certain areas and in certain other things. But what I can say, and I would like to return to these player ratings again, this is something that has really positioned us on the map, because a lot of professional players now follow SofaScore and retweet when they get a good rating on SofaScore if they are in our team of the week. And we all even had reports from Brazil that players after the match check their scores in the dressing room and try to get accurate passes just to improve their ratings. So all this is based on a formula that's working pretty well.
Definitely. And of course, when you talk about the players checking things out after the matches, that becomes public knowledge, which helps SofaScore gain even more ground. How difficult is it to gain traction in the market right now for SofaScore? Those events certainly help, right? They create more publicity and more awareness. But is it difficult? Has it been difficult for SofaScore to build itself in the larger market and convince the betting world that the time is right to embrace all of these data channels that are available?
Well, getting a big traction was a long road. So it's been SofaScore is a little over 10 years old. So getting to 20 million monthly active users required a lot of work and a lot of effort. And all these things where players recognize you, they follow you, certainly help. Today, we see that there are other products, other sports apps emerging. They are also focusing around live scores and providing different statistics. A lot of the things that we already have in SofaScore, but today it's not just having a product that has all these things. You need to build a rapport with the fans. People, users need to trust the product they are using. So we have our support team that is replying within 24 hours to all the feedback that we receive from our users. So we are very engaged with them. We are present on major social media sites. We have localized social media channels. So we are engaging both the fans, both sports professionals, whether they are players, journalists, influencers, whatever. We are trying to stay engaged and on top of topic with everyone. So keeping the traction and keeping the buzz about SofaScore is a lot of work, but we have come to a point where the SofaScore brand is so recognizable that within the betting industry, people understand what we are about, and they want somehow to partner with us, and because they understand that we are a reliable brand, and if we promote them, their brand in a way becomes verified by SofaScore, and in a gambling industry, it certainly helps to have that trust with the consumer.
Sure, definitely. Now with all the competition that's arising everywhere, and of course, SofaScore with 20 million unique players each month, it's a huge number. And you can say that you've only been around for 10 years, but achieving 20 million in 10 years is a pretty substantial feat. So it's something to be proud of for sure. Having said that, though, where does SofaScore envision itself 5 years from now?
Well, we have big plans for the future. Yeah. Getting to this 20 million, like you said, was a very long road, but we hope that the next 20 million will be a shorter road to take. We plan on expanding all the sports that we have. Football, of course, is our number one sport. It's covered in great detail. We want to improve that, but we want to bring other sports to this level as well, because there are countries like India where cricket is number one. In other countries, baseball is number one. So you really need to understand what is locally important in certain big markets and to tailor your product accordingly. So this is what we are trying to do. We are at that stage where we are able to focus more locally on certain markets. So we are working on a lot of things. And one of the things that maybe I would highlight is our SofaScore editor. This is something that is not present in other products, and again, is something that differentiates us. It is a product that helps us cover amateur leagues, amateur sports. So if you yourself are a coach of a minor league football or whatever, you can download SofaScore editor, enter league details, and register all the matches. And everyone in the league can have their profile in SofaScore in the main app, check their stats and something like this. So our vision is to be the premium sports app for covering any professional and amateur sports event, player or club. And we believe this will further engage our users and build user loyalty down the road, which is very important.
I think you're right. And I think that it's important because there's a misconception right now that sports betting is gambling. Mostly in the U.S. because it is such a nascent market right now, legally. But sports betting is more about the entertainment aspect of it. It's more about understanding the stats and making the picks based on the analysis and the intelligence. And everyone loves to see their stats. So by incorporating something like this for amateur level sports leagues and organizations, it helps to reinforce the entertainment side of it, and also gives those leagues and those organizations a new platform that they have not had available anytime before, and it puts them on a whole new level of sports of the sports market. So it's definitely something that's going to be very well received, without a doubt. How much of a role does artificial intelligence come in to the operations behind the scenes at SofaScore?
Well, AI is definitely the big thing in development, and so it is in SofaScore. What we are trying to do with it is use it for engaging the users and providing, like you just explained, interesting insights into statistics about teams or players, so they feel empowered, more skilled when they are possibly placing a bet. That is one aspect that is tailoring to our sports betting partners. And one is purely an entertainment factor that is designated for engaging the users even more, to stay more in the app, and again, to be more exposed to the advertising from our partners. And if you open our app, you will see something at the top of the screen, which is called a buzzer, where we have some suggested content. So you're a maybe football fan, but occasionally you check basketball scores, whether it is NBA or Euroleague or Formula One, maybe. And in this buzzer, based on your previous engagements, we try to suggest content that you might find interesting. And this is something that we will further develop, and AI will play a big role with it. And we are clustering our users to make it even more interesting and more engaging down the road.
Very interesting. I can't wait to see how SofaScore develops over the next several years, especially in the U.S. market. I think that there's just so much potential for what the company can offer to the U.S. and possibly Canada as well once it starts to become more developed. It's even more of an infant than the U.S. legal market. So there's a lot of growth potential everywhere. Daniel, this has been a wonderful conversation. I really appreciate your time today and your insight. Very exciting stuff coming out of SofaScore. It's really helping to revolutionize the sports betting and the sports entertainment industry. So this is really good information. Is there anything else that you'd like to send out there to the world?
Well, I'd just like to mention that this time next year, we'll be watching World Cup in Qatar. So this is something new for the sports industry and betting industry as a whole. And I'm really interested in seeing how the players and betting companies will react to all this mix-up in the schedule that we will have next season. Obviously, we at SofaScore are preparing. We have interesting promotions for the betting operators. We have stuff that will engage our users, and it will be really interesting to see how the World Cup in November and December will play out, especially for Croatia, because we are a Croatian company. Croatia was second in the last World Cup, so we have high hopes for the next one. So looking forward
I'm sure
to
they're
it.
going to do well. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do really well. Awesome, Daniel. I really appreciate your time today and your wealth of knowledge. Looking forward to seeing great things coming out of SofaScore. Wish you guys all the best of luck. And we'll definitely have to circle back around before the World Cup so that we can get an idea of what's going to be, what we'll be seeing at the event.
Sounds good. And thank you for the interest.
My pleasure, Daniel. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.